An Instagram post gets an unexpected boost. A TikTok catches in the algorithm. Sometimes that's all it takes to launch someone into internet fame. But then what? This Blew Up is a new podcast documentary that reveals how social media stardom is made. It's a different kind of fame that's not always as glamorous as it looks. From Spotify and the Ringer Podcast Network, I'm Alyssa Bereznek. You can listen to This Blew Up on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts.
This episode is brought to you by Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. All right, it's official. I think I've discovered the ultimate coupling of all time. Like any good relationship, they really balance each other out. One is super sweet, and the other, well, they can be a little nutty sometimes. It is, of course, Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, the perfect combination of peanut butter and chocolate. So perfect, some would call it true love. Find Reese's now at a store near you. This episode is brought to you by Visible. Maybe you've already let your New Year's resolution slip. We all have, but you can still make a 2 year's resolution with Visible. Right now, you can get a one-line wireless plan from Visible for just $20 per month for 24 months. 24 months is basically 4 Bachelor seasons. That could be 4 engagements, 4 broken engagements. So many other couples we didn't see coming. It's really an eternity in Bachelor Nation. And that's unlimited 5G data powered by Verizon with no annual contracts. Switch now at Visible.com and use the code VISIBLE24. Don't miss out. Offer ends January 31st. New members only. Promotional rate with service on the Visible plan. For additional terms and network management practices, see Visible.com. Welcome to Bachelor Party. I'm Juliet Litman. I'm here with Callie Curry. Callie, we made it. Paradise is a wrap. It's over. The 2022 Bachelor season has finished all of its episodes. How are you doing? How are you feeling?
I was going to say, did we make it? Because at the very end of this episode, I was like, because then they did the preview for the next season.
Well, that's not until January 23rd. That's 2 months away, you know? Let's see.
But it just really, I was just like, how did we get here? How did they mess Rodney?
I don't know. But before we get to that, I have to say, these 2 episodes were awful. Like, I don't like to lead with negativity, but there was so much recapping. It was like there was so little actual content, way too much Wells, and just an absolute travesty. Like, I was just like, what's going on here?
I disagree slightly. First episode, Monday's episode, completely, there's nothing to save it. It was horrible. There's nothing they can do to make it better. It was awful. It was essentially just like 80% of the people being like, I mean, obviously we're not going to stay together. Bye. And then just like,
of course.
Why did they even give each other roses if that's what they were going to do? So that, like, it was just stupid. Before the last rose ceremony, Jesse should have been like, you either are planning on getting engaged or you don't get a rose. That's what should have happened. Because all these like 10 hours later being like, yeah, I mean, we're not going to work on this after Paradise, right? Right. And like, move on. Like, it was like a waste of our time to see. So that was stupid.
Why did they have that rose ceremony? There was no point to it.
I mean, Kate essentially did what everyone did the next day. It should have Kate followed the right protocol for once this season.
We'll come back to that, pin it for a second. But like, it was also a really bad performance from Jesse, which pains me to say. But the script they wrote for him was like ridiculous. Like
horrible.
He was like taking it too seriously this time. And like, it was the opposite of how he's good at hosting The Bachelor. It was just really weird.
Well, so I was going to say, so the second episode, to me, there were moments. There were moments I laughed. There were moments I was interested. A lot of moments I cringed. So I didn't think second night episode was as bad. The 2-minute recap of what happened with each relationship has to stop. We all watched.
I know.
We rewatch it. So
we're here. You've got us.
Yeah. Like, if we're watching the reunion, I hope you paid attention to some of the season. I absolutely do not need a recap of the couples. And I need to look at Bachelor data, but like it had to have taken up like 15 minutes of the hour-long special.
Yeah.
So that has to stop. But other than that, like I was fine. It was a horrible reunion because of things outside of Jesse's control a little bit. Like,
sure.
It was just bad, but like I was fine with the reunion minus the recaps. I was fine with it. Jesse, again, not a good performance.
No, it was really not his best. You know, the show carrying water for Michael A is really weird. And that's when I was like, Jesse, this is really the worst. Like the way that they sort of like just allowed Michael A to double down on like the bad fake apology he gave Sierra, I thought was like super weird. And just like, why?
They gave Sierra all of 5 seconds.
5 seconds. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, the 5 seconds that Sierra got, she handled it correctly and was just like, listen, I just want you to be happy, which is the nice, right thing to do. She said, you know, I just hope you're happy, blah, blah, blah. But then they just moved on. And I was like, wait, no, like.
I know. It was so short.
Get the floor a little bit.
Yeah, put her in the hot seat. Let her explain why she was upset. And
let her explain like why she did the things she did. Let her explain like how she got to that point, how she felt watching it back. She should be like, you guys clearly spoke beforehand.
Yeah.
Which a lot of couples did, fine. But like, let's talk about how that fucked her up in her journey.
Seriously, especially because she's not getting the support of Bachelor Nation. Caitlyn had Danielle on her pod and they were like, that girl, what's her name? They didn't remember her name. They talked about their like, you know, just like sort of doing more work for Danielle and Michael. And I have no ill will against them. If this is going to work for them and they found each other, that's great. But like just the way that they are being so disrespectful of Sierra is really frustrating. And then Caitlyn had the audacity to like tweet like an apology to Sierra, which she also DM'd to Sierra. And she's like, I'd also like to be able to tell you in person. And it's like, are you just doing this on Twitter now because you want people to know that you apologize? Like, that's not genuine then. It's like, it's really fucked up.
Yeah, I don't really get it. Also, like, them calling her what's her name, it's like, you both know her name. At the very least, Danielle, you know her name. And if you wanted to come across the right way, then you would have said to Caitlyn when she said it, her name is Sierra. And like, I wasn't there for those conversations and I'm sure it really sucked. That doesn't mean you have to agree with like every single feeling that Sierra had, but she can have feelings about what happened. Which, by the way, a lot of people watching it had the same feelings Sierra had. So she's not crazy.
Well, Michael was given the opportunity to like apologize again. And he said the same thing, which is like, it wasn't a fit. And like, he actually didn't say that. He just said like, he wasn't right for her. Right.
Well, yeah, in the moment he said more of, I'm not ready. But he did say there's something that's not there. But he also was like, I'm not ready. I'm tired of hurting people, blah, blah, blah. And then like 2 seconds later, he's like, oh, I found the person I'm going to be with for the rest of my life. She's going to move to Akron. She's met my kid a million times and it's awesome. It's like, so you were ready?
Yeah. What he should have done is been like, you know what? I messed up when we broke up. Like, I wish I had been more honest. Like, this wasn't the right relationship, or more, not I'm not even saying he was lying, just like more direct and straightforward, which is really hard to do in a breakup. I'm like, not saying that's easy, but he was given the opportunity to like rectify it and he really didn't. He just sort of like doubled down on being this like smarmy, sweet guy. And I didn't care for it.
Yeah, I mean, I was fine with it. I was just like, okay, like obviously now they're going to bring Sierra up and they were like, all right, let's move on. And I was just like, wait, what? That was 2 seconds. And it was a pretty big storyline, like throughout this year. I thought it was crazy how quickly they just brushed over it. And again, to your point, it's like, they're just setting them up to look amazing. And Jesse's final words to them were like, I'm happy for you guys. You guys are just such great people.
Yeah, I know.
I was like, are they?
Yeah. What's the evidence?
By the way, I'm not saying they're not, but I was just like, oh, okay, like what?
Yeah. I don't know. It was frustrating. I do want to just note that Danielle was wearing RBG earrings, which she's been wearing the whole time. But there was like a real close up on them in the Monday night episode. And I was like, well, I guess that's nice.
Throughout Paradise, Danielle was like fine.
Mm-hmm.
Like, didn't really like bring anything, but like that just means to me she's probably more on the normal spectrum.
Sure.
And you know what I mean? Like, she's boring. So like, I don't know if that's like a bad thing to say to somebody. On this reunion, I was like, what is she like? Did it not? She seemed like she was on another planet.
They're very performative. The way she was like, oh, I love that kid, talking about James, Michael's son, was like just so dramatic.
No, it was cringe. Like, But I don't know, like watching it, there was a lot of things that like, I was just like, ugh, like not even just with them, like multiple times people said things where I was just like, this is so weird. But I was thinking like, let's say I was dating someone and they met my kids, like what are they supposed to, it's just fucking weird. Like you have to overly do it, right? You can't just be like, yeah, I really like them. They're awesome.
I guess. It's just a stupid question to ask. Like, have you met James? Like, what does James think? It's just not a good question because what are they going to be like? James is still taking his time. He's still grieving the loss of his mother. So, you know.
James is a pill. He doesn't listen. Yeah. He cries a lot. He's fucking spoiled. Like, what are you going to say?
Yeah. He's a kid who lost his mother. So, like, yeah, of course you're going to be like, I love him.
To the performative point, though, you waited till you were at this moment to tell her you loved her?
I know. That was so fucked up. Like, make that a special moment between the two of you. I know. That's a great point.
If I'm her, I would be like, ew, what? Like, you literally just want, like, to be famous.
Yeah.
Why would you not tell us? Like, we obviously moving to Akron. We're spending a lot of time together. You didn't want to say it when it was just us two?
Yeah. Or, like, maybe that's part of the conversation of, like, you know, I love you and want to see if this can really work. So, like, will you move to Akron or whatever it is? It's just whatever the timeline was to make that a public thing, like to kind of like surprise her with it on the reunion stage when you're certain or pretty sure it'll be used is like just bizarre and sort of fucked up. Wasn't into that.
Weird. Not into it at all.
I will say on the topic of like, what are you supposed to say about the kids? Did you read the JLo Vogue profile a couple weeks ago that came out?
No.
I'm obsessed with JLo.
I know.
And she said that she hopes to be an ally for Ben Affleck's children with Jennifer Garner. And I was like, that's a great thing to say. Like, she was like, I hope to be someone with a different perspective they can like bring issues to. And I was like, that's just a great way of handling it, JLo. Even if you prepared that answer for Vogue, good preparation. Good job. So Danielle should take a page from that.
Yeah. Also, if you're Jen Gardner, like that's kind of what you want.
Yeah. Totally. And she complimented Jennifer Garner. It was just very well done. Anyway, let's go back to the beginning. We need to talk about the breakups. We jumped ahead, but let's talk about all the couples that didn't make it first. Beginning with Shanae and Twin. They're out. I mean, Shanae, what were they doing? I mean, that was clearly...
I actually loved it. Shanae, honestly...
She was pretty... I just remembered they had a fight. That was actually pretty funny.
Full season, she's won an award.
I know. She's been very fun to have.
Really great. She's shown us everything that we've needed to see. Ups, downs. There's moments where she's chill. She's been funny. She's been open to a lot of different people. I thought it was really funny. It's not supposed to be funny, but I thought it was funny when she was crying because I'm like, and then like right when he was like, wait, what? You didn't say that? Completely stopped crying and was like, yeah, no, I mean, obviously this is not going to work. And I was like, so you weren't like, why'd you cry? You were totally, after he went against what she was saying, completely fine. Great performance.
I really enjoyed her invoking his TikTok, being like, I just don't want to be someone doing TikTok dances. That was so relatable. That is like such a like, I'm 30, you're 24. I don't get the way that you spend your time. Like, I thought that was absolutely hilarious. And I loved it.
He was like, I was so offended. TikTok once. And she's like, you record them a lot.
Which just means that she scoped out every single person possible before they came to the beach.
Also, which means she knew that when she got with him and was just like, well, I'll be here for a few more days. He's hot.
I do think Shanae genuinely wants love. And so she probably was like, I'll try anything, which I give her credit for. You never know where you're going to find love. So
I am not going to give her that much credit. I think that she genuinely wants to find love. Yes. But I don't think she was like, I'll try anything. I think she was like, I'll try to stay a few more days and hope someone else comes down.
This is my only option to continue to stay here. Yeah. Which, you know, now we like Shanae.
I feel like she was just like, I don't like those people. Like, I'm going to have to really play it up if I stay with that person. So let me go to this person. It's a brand new relationship. No one thinks I'm going to stay with this. Let's wait for someone else to come down. No one else came down. She's like, I'm going home.
She should have stuck with James for longer instead of Logan. Because Logan dissed her.
Probably.
But whatever. Good luck, Shanae. Hope to see you again next summer on the beach. Flo, have nothing to say about her at all. Whatever. Like, good luck.
Their breakup was like, I think we're all both on the same page. We're not going to continue this. Yeah. And they were like, yep, great. Have a good life. Goodbye.
I liked how Shanae's twin was like, can I talk about this with Justin or Joey, whoever it was? He was like asking for his brother. I thought that was pretty funny and also cute.
In the car ride home, he was like, she said I wasn't a man, bro. And he was like, you're more of a man than she'll ever be. And I was like, that is correct. Good point.
Where do you stand on someone living with their parents at 24 after they've been on The Bachelorette?
24, it's fine.
I agree. I mean, also like at any age, like who knows what your circumstances are. I just think it's so funny that he was like so offended by that. Like he was so offended that she was like holding that against him. I was just like, this is a classic trope, but I agree at 24, it's fine. But at the same time, if I'm Shanae, I'm like, so that means you always have to come over to my place? And like, if I visit you, we stay with your parents? Like, what's going on here?
Yeah, no. I get that part of it. But I mean, obviously Shanae knew what she was doing when she was getting into a relationship with a 24-year-old. Also, 24 is so young. Like, save your money. Do what you got to do. I have no problem with that at all, 24. If you're 35 and at home and you could live on your own, but you're saving because you want to get something like a steady income or whatever it is, I also think that's fine. Like, I don't even think that's something you should be embarrassed about. Just be honest about it. Don't lie and say you have something that you don't. But if you're like, I could be paying rent right now, but I want a better job or whatever, and it's just me and my parents, like, fine. Yeah. If you can pay your bills and you're choosing to save money, I would way rather that than Hayden and spend $100,000 on a
minimum
dog surgery. Yeah, minimum $100,000 on a dog surgery that won't even save my dog. Like, let's be financially responsible. These are not easy times for anybody right now.
Yeah,
like, do what you got to do.
I wonder what Joey and Justin's like career path is. Like, do they plan to work? We have so little information about them.
They marketing? Remember, they talked about it for their 5 seconds with Gabby and Rachel.
Right. But like, is that real? I don't know. It just seems like I don't really know what they do. Who knows?
They had different jobs because that's how they like differentiated each other to Gabby and Rachel. But it was something like insurance sales and something like that.
Right.
Yeah,
all right, that's real.
I understand why Shanae doesn't want that, but you kind of knew what you were getting into. So, like, I can't be mad at Kate for openly talking about these things and not be mad at Shanae for bringing it up at the last second. Only thing is that Kate didn't really ever say it to Logan.
That we saw. But yeah, Shanae said it to his face, and at least it was like not as protracted and they didn't like go over it a million times. I think what's so annoying about Kate is just like the way that this has gone over and over. I will say, I talked to Kate and Genevieve last week. If you missed it, check it out. Honestly, they both seemed really sad. It was sad. They both seemed very affected by this experience, very affected by the negative feedback on social, and like very frustrated with watching the show back. And so I don't say that to defend them, but I just say like I have empathy for them because they both seemed like they were in a tough spot.
Well, they can't edit things into your mouth. So for Kate,
correct.
Kate, it's a little bit different. Genevieve, I don't even think her edit was that bad. Like, was she annoying at times? Sure. But Aaron was equally annoying. Like,
Interestingly, what she said was that she had a hard time watching Aaron talk to her, which I thought was kind of interesting. Didn't take any responsibility for her actions. She didn't really do anything wrong. She just kind of was like, annoying.
Yeah, I don't think she did anything that bad. She was annoying. She acted like a kid by being like, I'm leaving 15 times. Like, but that wasn't like, I don't feel like the feedback on her on social is that bad. Kate's feedback is top 5. Terrific. It's bad. People hate her. But
it's really bad.
She was saying things that were insane. Like, you can't be like, this is really affecting me, but you were making fun of someone for not having a membership at Equinox. Like, what did you think?
Well, what she did say about that was she thought she was like saying it in private to her girlfriends, but that doesn't really excuse it and also doesn't make sense. So
you thought you were saying it in private with cameras mic'd on a television show? Also, it wasn't once.
Yeah, it's multiple times.
If she was like whispering once and the camera caught it, I'd be like, totally. Also, again, do we have conversations like this, like with your friends?
Yeah.
1000%. Would I have the exact same conversation with my friend on national television after already have been on a show? Like, you you know what it is on Paradise.
Plus, she's
You've
around the
already
selling
been on
sunset people all the time. She knows how this shit goes.
She gets it. So it's not like she was bamboozled and was like, I didn't realize they were, no, like, this is not your first rodeo. You knew what you were getting yourself into. That's just like not an excuse that I think is valid at all. And even at the reunion when she said it, Logan was like, you thought you were saying this in private? Like, obviously you're not saying it in private. And you said it 17 times.
Yeah. My sister in Christ, we heard you.
In front of the camera, over and over. So like, yeah, exactly. I don't know. But do I think Kate is as bad of a person as she came across this season? No.
No, I agree. Her speech breaking up with Logan, though, like, while that's good television, how does Kate and Zainab memorize these speeches? Who writes them and how do they memorize them? I mean, I was just like, this is a really like well delivered monologue, I guess. But I was just kind of like, why did you do this? Did she think that would be a good strategy? That's just gotta be for TV time. I mean, I don't know why else you would do it that way. It's just not nice. Why else did you
say the Equinox line 15 times? Like, it is for TV time. Let's be real here.
I have definitely insulted guys' station in life when I'm mad at them, or I feel like I'm like trying to like justify them like hurting my feelings. But it doesn't seem like he really hurt her feelings. She just was like not feeling it.
Yeah, which is fine. You don't have to feel it, but you don't have to like degrade him. Also on the reunion, when Logan was like, I told you that I came with nothing and was like doing whatever I could to get a job, and one of those things being a dog walker, like, that is really mean to then make fun of.
Yeah. I don't like Logan. I just like don't get who he is. I remain very confused about this guy, but it's admirable. I'm just trying to make it work. It's a classic LA story. Just move out there, take any job you can, and hope to make a career.
Like, listen, would I date Logan? No. Do I think he's a bad person?
It's not because of his lack of money.
No. I will say that his turtleneck on the reunion, again, I was like, you're so confusing. Like, are you so
confusing?
Yeah, like, are you? I like, part of me throughout Paradise was like, oh, he's like a surfer dude. But then, like, I just can't imagine a surfer dude wearing a black turtleneck. So it was just like, he's all over the place. I don't know who he is, but his story about coming out there and making it work with literally nothing, doing what he had to do, which he was even like, I would do literally anything. I'd walk a dog. I'd wait, or whatever he had to do. First of all, that's the story of like 80% of the people in LA. Most of them don't make it work. He's been able to make it work. He seems very proud of being able to do that. Making fun of it is just it's not funny. It's not cute. I don't like it at all.
Yeah. I also would definitely prefer someone who's just like, I'm going to hustle and take any job I can, to like someone who's never had to like work hard, or someone who doesn't have like that kind of ethic. So, I mean,
or someone who like won't get a job, or who will just get, you know, a job that pays bills, but won't go after what they want. Like,
yeah,
I would way rather have Logan being like, I'm going to do whatever it takes to hopefully get what I want. And he's been able to make something out of it.
Logan reminds me of what my father would call good character, bad personality. And I feel like Kate just like can't come to grips with that, where she like, maybe he just kind of isn't fun, and like that's also okay. But instead she like chalks it up to like his station in life and whatever. Because that's how I feel about him. He actually seems like a decent person, but I'm just like, your personality is like so confusing, and I don't understand who you are. And also you look different, and like every 2 months I'm just like, he looks like a different person on the 3 different shows he's been on.
I have a question for you. 2 questions. Okay. First question is, for Kate to be like, I'm really taken back by all of this like feedback, the negative feedback I'm getting online, but then to post a post of Cabo and be like, Costco can't get you there or whatever.
I didn't really get that, honestly. Like, what's the Costco piece of it?
I don't know. I think she said something about him working at Costco or something. Like, she was saying like, you can't pay for something off your Costco card or something. Like, she was definitely making a dig at Logan. So you don't feel bad? Do you want the negative feedback? Like, you're feeding into it.
Do you think she's just trying to get on Selling Sunset?
I would hope. That would make it all make sense.
I don't know.
It would make sense, because it just doesn't make sense to me at all. I'm like, this is just doesn't seem like the person that we know so well.
I agree with that. But also, like, Logan does, like, as I've said, like, I'm so confused about who Logan is. Like, I've never really understood this guy. So it's all very confusing. And he seems to be enjoying, like, this superiority that he's finding. So I don't know. I guess at this point, I just, like, dislike them both. But I'm rooting for Kate to have a redemption because I like her.
I also just don't. I felt like so many people were tweeting this season. So many hours were filmed. You're only seeing 10 seconds of it. And I'm just like, yeah, like everyone can't have that story.
Yeah, I know. It's not true for absolutely everyone.
I'm over it. You are who you are, okay?
At least that ended early. At least we didn't have to suffer through like a lot of Kate and Logan. I appreciated that. So that was quick. This episode is brought to you by Visible. Maybe you've already let your New Year's resolution slip. We all have, but you can still make a 2 year's resolution with Visible. Right now, you can get a one-line wireless plan from Visible for just $20 per month for 24 months. 24 months is basically 4 Bachelor seasons. That could be 4 engagements, 4 broken engagements, so many other couples we didn't see coming. It's really an eternity in Bachelor Nation. And that's unlimited 5G data powered by Verizon with no annual contracts. Switch now at Visible.com and use the code VISIBLE24. Don't miss out. Offer ends January 31st. New members only. Promotional rate with service on the Visible plan. For additional terms and network management practices, see Visible.com. This episode is brought to you by eBay Authenticity Guarantee. eBay knows that when it comes to jewelry, authenticity is the real gem. When you see the blue check mark that says Authenticity Guarantee, it means your next piece will be carefully inspired by jewelry experts and will always be worth its weight in gold. Whether you're looking to make a statement or build the perfect everyday look, eBay is making sure you get the real deal. With eBay Authenticity Guarantee, you can trust that jaw-dropping piece will always arrive jaw-droppingly real. Ensure your next purchase is the real deal. Visit ebay.com for terms.
This episode is brought to you by State Farm. You might say all kinds of stuff when things go wrong, but these are the words you really need to remember. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. They've got options to fit your unique insurance needs, meaning you can talk to your agent to choose the coverage you need. Have coverage options to protect the things you value most. File a claim right on the State Farm mobile app and even reach a real person when you need to talk to someone. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Genevieve and Aaron. So when they showed him like pacing around on the beach before the rose ceremony, I really thought he wasn't going to give her the rose. And I was like, okay, good. Let's just end this here. And then he fucking gave it to her. And he gave her this whole speech. And then the next day, he was like, this isn't going to work. Like, I would be pissed too. I think I also would like be without words. I wouldn't know like what to say. And I also would like try to just like let him hang himself with his own words. But like, what the fuck? Aaron, why? Why stay one extra day? Do what Andrew just did. Just like leave because it's basically over.
Yeah, I agree with everyone that did that. I don't really get it. Like I said, I think the rose ceremony should have been like you either are moving forward. Yeah. But maybe it's because Genevieve has done this 5 times. Genevieve, say what you got to say.
Yeah.
Leaving or pretending to leave and then come back, like just fucking sit there and say what you have to say. I would have been pissed at him. Like she has every right to be pissed at him. Why did you string me along another day just so you could break up with me? You could have done that last night. Yeah. Stupid. But then she had to like walk away and gather her thoughts and then come back. And Aaron at that point was just like, I don't have to listen to you. We already had the conversation. You should have said what you had to say there.
She's the only one who walked off with her own luggage too, which I thought was like a funny thing. Like everyone else just gets in the car and I guess they'll, get to their stuff later. But she's like every time been like with her possessions. I'm just like, are you worried about stuff getting lost or stolen? Like what's going on with you and your luggage?
We've seen the image so many times that they're purposely trying to show her again with luggage. But I don't think Genevieve came across like poorly. I didn't like the way Aaron spoke to her. I'm so happy that itching is not low-level pain. Like, I'm so happy that he was wrong about that.
Me too.
I thought like his apology was pretty fine at the reunion.
Yeah. I don't know. He just seems like he's moved on. So she accused him on social media of having a girl back home that he like was.
I missed that. How did I miss that?
I don't know, Callie, but she did. I guess, or maybe it was like someone, I forget what it was. She responded to a tweet and she was like, well, maybe it's because he was dating someone back home. So that's some speculation that's out there that perhaps he was literally doing this all for the show, just to stay on and then to get home and go back to the girl he was actually dating. So I could definitely see that being true. Yeah, for sure. I think he was also wearing a turtleneck. I just want to note, like, it's just not a look that most guys can really pull off, the turtleneck and blazer. Like, I think it's a tough one.
Very popular within Bachelor franchise, I think.
Yeah, definitely. But I think of it as like something like Jason Tatum would do. And I feel like he could pull it off. But,
well, yeah.
But like, I just don't think that Aaron Cooper and Logan Siegel can pull it off.
I'm not sure how you know their last names, but that's neither here nor there. I don't think I'm like into the turtleneck look. Like, it has to really make sense. Was it freezing?
Well, I think it was LA cold. It has been like LA cold lately, so there's that. But
3 weeks ago, it was not that cold.
It's never that cold. It's just like no one's used to it. But in general, you have to have a really long neck, I think, for a turtleneck to look good. Otherwise, it just makes your neck look short.
So I have a really long neck. Like, really long neck. By the way, this is so random.
Yeah.
But Jaren Jackson has a seriously long neck.
So he should. And you know what? I think he wears turtlenecks. I can see in my head, I can see Jaren Jackson wearing a turtleneck. So I support it.
I can see him wearing turtlenecks, but I went to the game the other night where Brooklyn was playing Memphis and he had on 19 chokers on his neck and like still had tons of neck room. I was like, wow, he has a long neck. I mean, he's also 7 feet tall or whatever. So, I mean, it's not that surprising.
That's really funny.
Really long neck.
I don't see you as a turtleneck wearer. Have you ever worn one?
I was going to say I have a really long neck. And I think because I don't wear my hair down, but like once in a blue moon, having anything on my neck makes me 25 degrees hotter.
Yeah, that's why a scarf is such a crucial item in winter.
No, but like it's unbearable. Like I sweat. Like I can't not. It could be freezing outside, and if I have a turtleneck on or a scarf, I'm like, holy hell! Like wearing my hair down in like 60-degree weather, I'm hot.
I'm hot unless it's like 45 or less. I'm just like, hallelujah! I need to wear a jacket. I'm always hot.
I'm always hot too, but I hate when it's too cold. So it's just like a bad place to be, I think.
Yeah, that's like probably why LA is a good place for you. Because in general, outside of the summer.
Always 70. It's perfect.
Yeah. Anyway, Aaron and Genevieve, I guess they hadn't spoken since the beach, which also I was surprised by.
That was shocking.
Yeah. You guys live pretty close to each other. You're both like in the mix with The Bachelor. I was surprised.
You told each other you loved each other.
I know. Was it fake for her too?
I don't know. He was like, we had real love. And I'm like, did you? You broke up and just like never spoke again? Everyone else spoke.
Their breakup was just not the words of people who, or at least for him, she didn't really speak. But the way that he broke up with her, I was like, you were never in love. He was like, I wish you nothing but the best. We had a good time together. I'll always think fondly of you. I'm just like, that's not someone in love.
Believe her.
Yeah.
Like he was like, oh, paradise is over now. All right. Well, that was great. I'm glad I had my boys trip, which is what everyone has been accusing him of the entire time. I think that is what happened.
I agree. I was just like,
and
this
I
is
might
not
have been wrong because I think I said that I didn't agree with that. Like, I'm fine with the boys hanging with the boys, probably because like I like separate time.
Yeah.
Also, yeah, I grew up with 17 men. So
also, when it's sports related, I feel like you join in because you're a good athlete. So it's not
probably. I would have definitely been playing football with them.
Yeah. So it's understandable.
I don't know if I'm still a good athlete, but I do just I generally love sports.
I like to watch sports. I don't like to play sports with boys, but he was not in love. Like, it's obvious. So definitely gives validity to everything she was saying. So
yeah, agree.
Johnny and Victoria, we must discuss them.
Wait.
Yes.
Tyler and Brittany first.
Okay.
We're going in order from like a couple that mattered least to most.
Okay. Tyler and Brittany, I thought they had a chance. And then he's like, still seems really upset. I mean, it's been a tough few months for Tyler.
Yeah, he seems upset about a few things, like way more upset about Johnny and Victoria than maybe Johnny. But I was wrong. I said that I thought he was in it for the wrong reasons. No, he thought it was real. She not sure. We loved Brittany. This pod loved Brittany throughout Paradise.
Yeah.
Very confusing ending for Brittany, for me.
So she broke up with him over FaceTime in London or something like that. And I'm just like, Brittany, how do you have so much time to just like travel and like whatever? But I thought she was really into it. She seemed like very invested and like excited to like see how things go. And then it just changed. And the way that they spoke to each other, she spoke to him specifically on stage, was like, it's like she didn't really have any sentimentality about him at all. Whereas like he's clearly still really upset. It was confusing.
Very cold.
Yeah. And she was just like, I'm doing me. Sorry. That was her whole vibe.
She did not seem...
She wasn't upset. She's moved on.
No. Also, she was almost like, why are you upset? Let's stop.
I know. She was like, she's kind of like the female Erin, but with her new personality.
Yeah. Like, I felt like she was like, ew, what's wrong with you? Like, stop. We're done. No empathy at all.
None.
From what I could see. I don't know if I missed something, but I was just like, yikes, let's get her off the stage. She's not really...
She just seemed like completely dissociated from the whole thing. I just didn't get it.
I was like, she's disconnected from all emotion. Because like, even if you don't agree with him, even if you're like, I don't feel that way anymore, whatever, he's clearly upset by it. Like, I would at least feel bad. Like, oh gosh, like...
She just didn't want to deal with
it at all, which is probably why she flew to Rome to break up with him. Let me get as far away as possible to break up with him so that we can just be done.
She was just like, I need to leave the country to make this happen. That it's sort of like anticipating that you need a hard break. She's just like, I'm going to remove myself from this continent and then I'll tell you that it's over. Maybe she was worried he would like come after her or something if she was anywhere in the continental United States.
Which also he was like, you could have told me that. And she was like, we were on a break. But like, why not just say you're done then?
Yeah,
I know.
You have
to go on a break to then fly across the world to then FaceTime and break up with him.
I know. Like the half measure is not good for anyone anyway. Like just go all in.
No. Yeah, agreed.
Would you like to talk about Serena and Brandon before getting to the biggest event of the reunion?
Yeah, sure. I mean, Serena and Brandon can pretty much, like, it'll take 2 seconds. They are very
happy couple,
very much in love. I don't think it's fake at all. Like, they seem so happy.
The biggest testament to them is that they didn't get married on the beach because it was like, it's like so real that they want to have their families involved and like they have like so much confidence in their relationship. They're just like, yeah, we'll get married eventually. It's really nice to see. I mean, Brandon is so corny, but like good for them. They found their people. I like how he always calls her by her full name, Serene Brooke Russell. I think that's like a cute thing to do. Yeah, they just seem like so happy.
I do think he is so corny, but in a way that I would want someone who I'm friends with to be with someone like that. Does that make sense? I also think one-on-one, he's probably very normal. For TV, like when you're trying to like you have to like have these one-liners, which we've seen like Kate deliver all season. I think that's when like your corniness comes out. I'm sure he does like little things that are corny, but like he's clearly a very good person. They're both very well liked. He hangs out with all the people that I love. Like
that's what I was going to say.
Are really close. He's now close with Andrew, Nate, like, you know, baby daddy Nate is there.
It seems like people really rally around him, which is really sweet. And I think also like that's how I tend to judge these people is like, do your castmates like you? And it seems like he is very core to this group of people that does like each other overall. So it's a good also, sign.
It's the people we like that like him.
Yeah. Yes, the ones we'd want to spend time with. I
also appreciated when he was like, I'm not emotional at all. Like, he's clearly self-aware, like, is fine, like, claiming that. For as corny as he is, I just really like him, and I
Seems
love
like
Serene.
A good guy.
And they're a beautiful couple.
Beautiful. Beautiful. His eyes are so stunning. It's crazy.
Yeah. I'd like to see them in person because Serene, to me, is, like, strikingly pretty. And then, like, he just has, like, features that compose like a good looking guy. I'm like, you guys probably are tiny. It's my what I think.
Absolutely.
But walking around, they're turning some heads.
She's so skinny on TV. I can only imagine what she looks like in real life.
Yeah, we've talked about that before.
Also, she's really pretty without makeup. I went to mention that about Sierra, by the way. She continued to look flawless. She looked so good.
Yeah, always. I don't even think we need to mention because it's just like second nature.
Yeah, it's a given. But yeah, Serena and Brandon, we wish you the best. I totally forgot about Rodney and Eliza and like their conversation at the reunion. I think I've moved on. I've just like, we spent a lot of time on Rodney. I haven't really gotten any answers. And clearly they're both still kind of upset, but he's moved on and she just seems like left out, sort of like left behind since none of it worked out. But what she was saying made no sense. She was just
No
like,
sense.
I wanted this to work. It was supposed to be you. And it's just sort of like, no, it wasn't. You weren't feeling it. You just need to say that and just be more honest about it with everyone.
Also, she's like, I still have feelings for you. Like, I feel like maybe she was hoping for some sort of rekindling. And I was like, I don't think that's happening. So let's move on.
She looked very sad. She looked very, very sad.
I also am like, by this point, like, you've seen this stuff on social media because it was recorded. Like, you fucked up.
Yeah.
It didn't seem like she got that, though. She was like, I just really wanted you to say you didn't want me to go. And he was like, so when I say I didn't want you to go, did that not register? I was like,
good one, Rodney. True.
Yeah. Yeah.
No fighting that one.
I'm so confused. I'm like,
me too.
How did you not get it?
I don't know. I feel bad for her though. She seemed really bent out of shape, which I get. I mean, it's a bad look for her, and I'm sure she was upset.
Also, again, good person. She fucked up. It's all good. But like, I don't know. You'll find someone, Eliza. Yeah. I mean, she's so pretty.
Yeah.
Another one. She looks
so
great.
pretty. She's like an interesting backstory. Grew up in Germany. It's like, she seems like she's got a lot going for her. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, they like didn't let Justin talk at all.
I know. I think he's just probably boring and like not a good talker because in all of his screen time, he hasn't really talked that much.
Yeah. And I guess they said in like the spoilers before we saw this that Justin did have a conversation. So they edited it out.
Right. There is a lot to cover. I mean, like, I kind of get it, like why they had to keep things moving, but the things they chose are just bizarre.
Well, no, they could have covered a lot more and saved us from recapping.
The recaps are crazy. I can't like, of the basically 3 hours of like actual TV without the commercials, probably like almost like a full hour was recaps.
Yeah.
So useless. And
I said 15 minutes, but you're probably right. 15 minutes with commercials ends up being like
also
at least 45 minutes.
Episode 1 with like the Monday night episode with the couples with like their overnights, so fucking boring. Like, I don't know, like there's nothing even to say about it.
No.
Because all that matters is like what happens after. Like, that's why they don't show you after The Bachelor and The Bachelorette choose someone, because it's boring. You just want to know about like their relationship. So
yeah,
too many episodes. On that note, we must discuss the big three: Victoria, Johnny, and Greg Grippo. Callie.
Yeah.
How are you feeling about your Greg stock?
It's not good. Greg's
terrible performance from that man. Terrible.
My Greg stock plummeted. It's almost like he like saw what was happening to FTX. He was FTX. He was coming in. He was hot. He was everything everyone wanted. And then it was all fake. It was horrible. It was really hard to watch.
It was really bad. So Johnny is accusing Victoria of having cheated on him, at least emotionally, with Greg. And she is denying that. She also had very little empathy for this guy who she supposedly loved at some point, who is now upset because she's moved on to someone else. And I thought that she came off like such a bitch as well. And
I think she came off as... Okay, I do think she came off as a bitch because how quickly she moved on and was like, I'm so excited to talk about my new relationship, and like had him up there, and she was like, fuck everyone. We don't give a fuck. Like that whole thing, I was just like, and Greg was like, oh, we're doing that? Like, well, it was just...
The tattoo is embarrassing.
Oh, God. By the way, them panning to all the other contestants and everyone being like, okay.
Not great.
Like, no, not great.
I don't know. She had a real redemption and then she undid it. Like she came off as like
her.
I know, like so much fun, and like everyone does seem to really like her too. And she just seemed like good, like just good vibes and wanting to hang out. And now she is back to being public enemy number one. It's like, I don't know. It was a really tough look. And also they just seem like delusional in their relationship. I mean, I think he's moving to Nashville with her, which I guess is nice. I think he'd been like between New York and LA, but I think he's moving to Nashville now to be with her.
I thought he already lived there because she's like, we can't go out in Nashville. Yeah, I don't know. I will say though, what she said, Johnny said, and clearly he said it.
Yes, definitely.
It was not good.
No. And he seems like he's probably not a great boyfriend.
But like what he was saying, even in the fantasy suites, like if I'm Victoria, that is alarming. We need to work on you before we could be together.
Also, he called her the C word, right? That's what they bleeped out.
The C word, and that she brings nothing to a relationship because she can't cook and clean.
It's so fucked up.
And then he was like, well, we were playing around. And Victoria was like, that is not how it went down. Also, like, what do you mean you were playing around and we're just like, you're worthless because you don't cook and clean? Ha ha ha. Like,
I also would not want to date him, but Victoria and Greg agreeing to like being on stage together is just a red flag for their relationship, especially Greg. He hasn't been on one of these shows in
anything. We've
year and a half.
praised him for avoiding it.
Yeah, I know. So it's like, he must be really into her.
Also, Greg being like, yeah, when, weeks after we started rekindling. And I'm like, yeah, Greg, that's not the correct timeline because she was saying that weeks after they were in therapy. And then, so yes, I do think at the very least, she was emotionally cheating. The very least.
Yeah. Maybe Johnny deserved it. I will say, like, the way the show is put together, I do think most of the men come out looking better than most of the women. Like, I think Johnny is probably a dick. Like if a man who says those things is like a fucked up dude. And yet I think he got like a softer edit than Victoria did at least in the reunion. Ditto with Michael and Sierra, also with Tyler and Brittany. Like there is like this inherent bias towards like the men looking like more like victims, even though I don't think that necessarily makes them like more attractive, but I do think it's like a slanted edit. Cause like, I don't know, if a guy calls me the C word, I'm out.
Yeah, we're done. Also, if he says I'm worthless because I don't cook and clean, like we're done.
Yeah.
We're not saving this. And then him being insecure and him not having self-worth, like all that is not going to work for me. And like, again, if I'm Victoria, we need to do the work before I can see if this would even work. Like you telling me all of these things is not going to make me be like, yeah, let's get engaged tomorrow. So also, Victoria, you're an idiot on the beach. Like she was just like, I just want to get engaged. That's essentially the vibe that I was getting from Victoria on the beach.
Yeah. She just like wanted it all to work out.
Also, I'm like, do you? Because now you're with Greg?
Yeah.
You think you're getting engaged?
Well, I don't know if he's moving to Nashville for her.
Yeah. I mean, she did look amazing.
She's gorgeous and she gives us a real freaky vibe. So I'm sure that goes far.
Yeah, I know. I don't even think he's hot anymore.
I thought he looked greasy. When he talks, he's less attractive. I remember now why I wasn't that into him during Katie's season. Many of these guys are better seen, not heard, like on TikTok, just doing whatever instead of like talking to the camera and being real humans. So I don't know. How long do you think their relationship will last? They have the Chow tattoos. It's currently November. I think we can assume they've been together since like whatever. Let's just say like October. So it's been a month. I give them 3 more months. I'm sure we'll find out. Last week, you suggested we do superlatives, and I think that's a great idea. So next week, let's do 2022 Bachelor Nation superlatives, covering everything that's happened from Clayton's season to the end of Paradise. And through December, there'll be some more batch pods here and there, taking a little bit of a break in January before we're back. Hope everyone has a great Thanksgiving.
Wait.
Yeah?
On the subject of cheating.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We can't not talk about SK and Raven.
So they're done because of this woman putting a really extensive video up about SK's deception. Very, very upsetting. They both said they cannot speak about it further because of litigation. And I believe that's because...
What does that mean?
I went to Love is Blind Reddit where I knew I'd find answers, and I did. The other woman was like trying to extort them. So I guess they're taking legal action.
Well,
that's what they claim, at least. And I know that because Raven like posted in some TikTok comments about it.
Well, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, that's not great. Can't blackmail. But all this is SK's fault.
Yeah, it's so fucking sad. He's such a liar. Also,
I was big Team SK and down in flames.
He has to be a sociopath to go on TV and like have like a second relationship just for cameras while doing like all this other shit. And also going out of his way to be like, my father's a polygamist, I don't want that, is also just like, what's wrong with you, dude? Because I'm not even judging like being a polygamist like good or bad. It's just like he addressed this in a way and then did the opposite. It's so fucked up.
The only thing that I can think of is I'm like, maybe him and Raven, were they real? I don't know.
Also, she did say initially when this first came out that like they had been like, you know, up and down.
Working through it, yeah.
Yeah. But when you look at the timeline, it was so extensive and it was like a really long relationship. So it's really tough. It's just.
We talked about it last week. Weren't sure what was going to happen. They're completely done.
I was sure. I was like, we can assume that's over. So I knew. I mean, where there's smoke, there's fire. You know.
Also, guys, it seems like it's only the guys. So I'm just saying, guys. I'm sorry if you hear my child in the background. Stop going on reality dating shows. If you have something, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Reddit, we're going to find out.
We will know. Callie's son is really upset about SK. Like, just so pissed. Raven, we're rooting for you. We really are. Wish you the best. Thank you all for listening. Hope you have a great Thanksgiving. Thank you to Callie Curry and her children for participating in this podcast. We'll be back next week.